Don't you find it curious that September 11, that's 9/11, should be the day to talk about global Hindutva instead of global jihad? Is it a coincidence or is it deliberate?
I am not one uh, to put on, some sort of mind reading hat on to know what their intentions were. Sorry about that. But I do think that it was very poorly timed, and in some way, maybe that poor timing is what has drawn global attention to the fact that this is a political event and not a serious academic one. And we can talk a lot more about that, but it was certainly tone deaf, especially where you have a handle that's actively denying Hinduphobia. And then the whole world is watching with horror as you have Afghanistan crumbling under, the takeover by the Taliban. And we know, because we have been documenting human rights atrocities against Hindu minorities in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and Bangladesh, that how fast the community there has dwindled down to, a mere 400 families. And to then talk about Hindutva or global Hindutva as if it's something that's happening world over that the world is watching, is to me kind of the height of irony and academic dishonesty, especially for those who call themselves scholars and have put their names behind this event.
Okay. Vibhuti ji, at this rate, I think we could very well blame the Talibani jihad to global Hindutva, shouldn't we?
I think every disaster offers an opportunity to somebody. As Suhagji very rightly mentioned, that maybe the bonehead, tone deaf choice of this particular date has added a spur to the otherwise dormant, benign, uninvolved Hindu, as we call it. We are truly Digambar in that sense, But the important part here is to remember and notice is that this is, I don't call it a mistake, in my opinion. Fools commit mistakes. These guys are not fools. But as I always also say, that wise men commit the greatest of blunders. And that's what happens in this particular scenario. I find that a very concerted effort has been made to attack Hindus. We know the reasons why. We can always talk about it and analyze why us, the most peaceful, loving community in the world. We are not a law and order problem anywhere, is it? We are
That's a
not.
problem.
That's the problem for them. So how are these people doing well, performing well? And because, there is a conversation in the US that Indians earn the highest money here. Yes, we earn the highest because we do the best. Our students do the best here. So what's so surprised about it? Isn't it a merit-driven economy until now, where the wokeism has stepped in? So in my humble opinion, and I would like to all of us to think about it, that it's a diabolical design to destroy Hindus globally. The starting point is America and India, because it's in our societies that they have the freedoms available to indulge in their shenanigans. These leftist Islamist conspirators, they will be sent to hell if they tried similar thing in a Sharia country or a communist country. So what maybe Shuhagji is not familiar with, we at Jaipur Dialogue have a phrase called Panchamakarts. I will leave it to Sanjay ji to explain to you. But
Okay.
but there is another short version of that. It's called the lady gangsters, liberal leftist gangsters. So that's the kind of thing which is happening, and I believe is that we have a threat globally. It's not it's not happening in America alone. And there are many pointers to that. And I want to congratulate Shuagji and the entire Hindu American Foundation, because you are the only organization in this country who is visibly involved and actively involved So, it's a very rarity. I've seen Indian organizations of many colors. I wish the most professional, most successful organization called API had jumped in. And forget about your tax exempt status. That's what I told India Association of Long Island and thousands of other Indian associations. To hell with the tax exempt status. You have the freedom to ask a question. And you can ask the question of universities where we are sending our children paying precious dollars. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
We can ask that.
2 points. I liked the quote that you gave about something about the wise, and now it's already escaped me. But the other point I would say is that hate blinds, that when you are so filled with hatred, and there's no doubt that there are platformed through this event people who are anti-Hindu. They hate the tradition. They hate anyone who proudly professes that they are Hindu. And so perhaps that led to the very bad timing. Even if the Taliban had not taken over on September 11th, the fact remains that September 11th saw my country's largest, most horrific terror attack in the history of humanity. So, regardless, whether they had predicted what would happen, certainly that's a day that we as Americans leave aside for reflection and for remembrance. And that in and of itself, I think, was poor timing. In terms of organizations, I just would like to share a little bit about our starting HAF. In our early days, we started in 2003, and many people said, well, why aren't you the Indian American Foundation? And a lot of people were kind of hesitant to associate with or support HAF because of the word Hindu. That's a whole topic in and of itself in terms of the effects of colonization and how so many in our community have unfortunately subconsciously equated Hindu as being somehow backwards and not Western, not modern, etc. Or that, our tradition is one that it encourages us to turn inwards, to know the self. And so, there's probably a multitude of reasons as to why people maybe are shy of that word. But our response to that question was, the reason we feel that we need a Hindu advocacy organization is because the Indian umbrella is one that serves people across various faiths. And so when there's an issue that specifically impacts Hindus, Indian organizations have to be aware of their other constituents, even if Hindus are the majority of their organization, even if there's maybe just a handful of Indian Christians or Muslims. They need to be true to that Indian umbrella, which is one that has for centuries been open to people of all backgrounds and all religions. And so that's why we felt it was important to create an advocacy organization that had a professionalized staff that would look to the issues that specifically impact Hindus. Now, that doesn't mean that we just care about the well-being of Hindus. We fundamentally believe that where Hindus are doing well, where Hindus' civil rights and human rights are protected, then all people are flourishing. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to explain some of the resistance we faced early in our days with the Hindu label.